I didn't see you there. Hey, welcome back. Sorry. Making this video. Actually, first things first. I want to say thank you for all the support I've been getting in these my recent videos. Bro, it's so cool. I don't know. It's just so cool. It's so cool to me seeing all the love I'm getting, and it just confirms it to me more. Also, that being said, I hope that everybody watching these videos is understanding what I'm saying and can use me as proof of what I'm saying. But yeah, for real though, thank you so much to everybody who has been enjoying the videos. Um, for real, it's really cool. It's really cool. Okay, that being said, as you've seen with my meditation, this video is about peace and being at peace with yourself and relaxing and just calming down, chilling, and what it means to be in that state. First thing I want to say is having worry and anxiety and stressing about things, right, will never do you any good. Ever. It never, ever, ever, ever will. How would it? You know? I feel like people mistake stress, anxiety, and worry with the feeling to need prepared. So a lot of times it actually can do good because it'll motivate you to study more, do more. But you could do all that with no stress, worry, or anxiety, and the product will be 10 times better. Separate the motivation to be more prepared from anxiety, and you'll get way more out of it. Um, but that's not necessarily too much what these videos focus on. I'll go into it a bit more, but it's more on the opposite end of being relaxed and being confident and being at peace with who you are. Um, but first, I want to speak more on the stress and anxiety. It's really important to be level-headed and grounded in all situations in life, but especially in stressful and anxious situations. Once you understand this and you're able to stay at that even level, you'll find yourself not getting into stressful situations at all. And even when you do, you're not stressed. For some people, it's easier than it is for others, but I don't think it's necessary. But things like meditation and breathing can help you reach that level. Um, so next time you're in a stressful or anxious environment or something's about to happen, I want you to breathe. I want you to breathe in 4 seconds, breathe out 4 seconds. Focus on the breath. Focus on calming down. Focus on letting go. Letting go of the worry, letting go of the anxiety, just letting it go. And it works. It truly works. It's so crazy how you can just tell yourself, no, I'm not going to be anxious. There's nothing to be anxious about. And how quick it can make a difference. And once you get good at it, you don't even have to do it. You don't even have to tell yourself. You just won't get anxious. You won't get stressed about things. I'll give an example. I'll give two examples. Recently, my math class is a new math class. I just started it. I need to use less uhs. Hold the silence. In my math class, I just started. See how hard it is? I was about to use another caught me. Gosh darn. Okay. In my math class that I just started, there was a test, and I really did not prepare for the test. I didn't do the homework. Oh, I did homework. I got like a 60 on it, but not because I did bad on it, but because I didn't do it all. And my whole life, school life, I was never a super study guy. I really don't study. I don't get prepared. I'm kind of lax when it comes to school. I'm a bit of a procrastinator when it comes to school. And it's kind of funny that I've become proud of it in a way. I like being able to say that I put no effort into school yet still excel, which in retrospect it makes sense having that confidence and seeing the result. But for this test, I was a bit worried because it's college and it's a lot of material in a short amount of time, and I haven't done algebra in a long time. So there was a bit of worry, there was a bit of anxiety, though. Through the years of built up confidence and knowing myself and knowing my base, I was able to let it go. And before going into the test, which I was not necessarily prepared for, I didn't honestly, I didn't think I was going to get a good grade. But I wasn't worried about it, and I wasn't stressing about it. And whether I got a good grade or I didn't, I was okay with it. Well, I ended up getting an 85. Now, you could say that's not that crazy, but I mean, it's better than a C, you know? It's better than failing. And I say that being said, I didn't think before going into the test, I didn't think that I had an 85 grade worth the preparedness in me. I didn't prepare. I didn't even finish the homework. I did the homework last minute. I did the homework the night before. Last minute. Didn't even focus on it. I cheated. I literally I literally used a math app and got the answers. So the level of preparedness was at 0. And I still got an 85. Still, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't necessarily confident, but I wasn't worried. I wasn't stressing, and I didn't have anxiety about it. I was okay with it. Another example, I'm not going to go too much into detail. I'm going to keep it very vague for this one. I'm sorry. I was recently in uh, I was in a situation, a going out situation, where, like going out with friends, and I was put in an environment I'm not. It's actually my first time being in an environment like that, and I was anxious. And unlike the previous thing with the math test, where through my whole school life I've had that built level of confidence, this is something that was new to me. I had anxiety and I was nervous before going into this environment, going into this situation. But before getting there, I told myself, there's no need to worry. Whatever happens, happens. It doesn't even matter. And it went smooth as silk. It was cool. It was fun. I had fun. Me and my friends had fun. It was cool. It was smooth. It went so easy. It's crazy how easy it went. For how much I was worried about it, it was crazy how easy it went. It's just another thought. So that shows the power of not being anxious and not worrying and not stressing. Another thing I want to say is you're able to put this into practice at any time. And I say that because you can be caught in a stressful time. Let's say you're not super amazing or you're new. I mean, not super amazing at a application of what I'm talking about, or you're new, or you just don't even know about it, and you're in a very stressful situation right now as we're speaking, and you're watching this video. It works now. It works the second you apply it. The second you understand that your mind makes your reality, the second you understand that your mindset and your perspective on things affects it, it will change immediately. So that being said, when you're in a stressful, anxious time in your life, or something's going bad or something's going wrong, catch yourself. Catch yourself going down that negative route and prevent it and tell yourself no. It's crazy. All you gotta do is tell yourself no. I don't need to be. I don't need to be stressed about this. There's nothing to stress about. I'm not worried. There's nothing. Even if there was something to worry about, I'm not worried about. There is nothing to worry about. That quick. That quick. Don't try to get your mind off of it. Don't try to distract yourself for 2 seconds. In for. Boom. Locked in. What we talking about? Oh yeah, it's whatever. It's that quick. The next part that ties into this, though, it goes a bit farther. I feel like now I'm gonna speak to people who are similar to myself and similar in level of understanding. I want to brief this as saying that all the things I'm saying, I'm getting better at, and I'm a very mindful person, as in I'm very in my thoughts and I think through a lot of things, and I really try my best to understand why, what, and how I do things. So I'm learning, is my point, and I'm learning about myself. And I want to say this is be relaxed and be confident and chill, right? In all in the sense of who you are as a person. Be confident in who you are as a person. In the sense that when you have to speak about a topic that is important to you, or you have to speak about how you are as a person, or you have to speak about your beliefs, right? Relax. Relax. I don't know if this is a problem for anybody or everybody, but I've caught myself recently falling into the trap of when I start speaking about my beliefs, I get a bit anxious. And I don't even notice it, but because it's not like it's in my stomach or it's not like a normal level of nervousness, but I speak a bit faster. I speak a bit harsher. I raise my voice a bit. I get a little amped up. And I realize that it can come off as a bit polarizing when I speak about my beliefs, which it shouldn't. It shouldn't. And I realized that came from a lack of confidence in myself, not in that I wasn't confident, but in the fact that I thought I needed to defend my beliefs, that you don't need to defend to anybody. I fell into a thing where anytime I spoke about my beliefs or I spoke about how I felt about things, that it became a thing of defense, and it became a thing of, well, I need to. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me now. It doesn't make sense then. I just didn't know I was doing it. But when I would speak about certain things, I was very punchy. I was very and it would be things I would bring up even. But it was like if it was about me or it was about how I thought or it was about how I felt about something, they were the enemy and they weren't going to convince me otherwise. And I'm going to convince them and I'm going to be right. If you know you're right, then why is that? Why would that be a feeling you feel? Just chill out. You know what I mean? Chill the fuck out, man. Why are you trying to convince somebody else about how you feel about yourself? Why are you trying to convince somebody else of your beliefs? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like I was trying to convince somebody else of my beliefs so I could convince myself of my beliefs. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to be speaking about how you think or feel about something and be worried about whether they believe you or they understand or they think you're right. Why do you want them to think you're right? Who cares if they think you're right? That's what it was. I wanted people to think I was right. Or I would say that recently, to normies, to people who aren't necessarily super aware, I've become a bit polarizing. Like I say, I manifest, and I don't want to get into politics or anything like that. But I guess you could say I've become a bit polarizing. And if you're watching this, it's not in the way you think. Probably, maybe, I don't know. But I've become a bit polarizing on that side as well. Though I hate politics. Do I? I don't know. They're a tightrope. But I would say, in my opinions on there, surprisingly, you would think with the takes I have that I wouldn't be. But I've become a bit polarizing, and with look how I'm talking. I feel like most normal people will watch this and be like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" But I'm not normal. You know, I'm not. I've come after 18 years of my life. I've come to realize I'm not normal. I'm a weird person, and that's just who I am. You know. All that being said, just relax and just chill out, and it all works out better. When you're speaking to someone about how you feel about something, and you start to get defensive and you start to try to prove your point, it loses its effectiveness. The more you think through your thoughts and talk slower and understand what you're saying, understand why you're saying it, it all works way better. And it comes off less like you're trying to prove yourself and more that you're confident in yourself. Your whatever point you're trying to make gains more validity whenever you're sure of your own point. When you're making a point about something and you're real, well, is this? You seem less sure of yourself versus when you, well, this is this and this, and you go slow and you take your time. You're more sure of what you're saying. So no matter what, it's a benefit. No matter what, whether you're trying to make someone else think you're right or not, it it benefits you more to seem sure of yourself. Almost, you could say, seem like you don't care because you shouldn't. You shouldn't care if somebody else thinks you're right because you know you're right. At the end of the day, you know you're right, so who gives a fuck if they think you're right? You know what I mean? That's where it all boils down to. Just chill. Just relax. Calm down. I say this to myself because I've been in situations, like I've said, where I just needed to calm down. Slow down, man. Think through your thoughts. You're saying shit that you wouldn't even normally say because you're going to you're on the defense. Recently I had a conversation with one of my friends from my job, and we had a very constructive conversation, and it's so funny. I would get so nervous speaking about I would get so nervous at my any place really. Anytime a certain topic could get brought up, I'll say it's a political topic. Anytime this certain political topic would get brought up, I would get so nervous about continuing the conversation, right? And it's so funny. It's so funny. This was a while ago. Like I would get nervous. Like I would say, I mean, it's relatively recently, but this time I had this conversation with my friend, and I would get nervous because I didn't want to. I knew that it could go a not good direction, right? And it could be polarizing, and it could be a certain way. But funny enough, right? I'm having this conversation with my friend, and we're both. I feel like we kept it very cordial, right? And I would say we're on opposite sides of the spectrum, right? We're on very opposite sides of the spectrum, but quite literally, I feel like we became better friends after the conversation was had. We spoke for literally probably an hour and a half, and after the conversation was had, where we basically disagreed almost the entire time. I wouldn't say no. Actually, I don't. I take back what I said. I don't think we disagreed. I think I don't know. It was a great conversation though. Very opposite conversation. It was a back and forth. It was a debate, but it was very constructive, and we genuinely became better. In my opinion, we became better friends after the conversation. Now, if you're me and you just had that about this thing that you would get nervous talking about, do you see how being nervous did nothing? Do you see how it was so unwarranted? There was no reason to be nervous. You see what I'm saying? So if I was never nervous the first time I had this conversation with somebody else, I wouldn't have came off so punchy and defensive. If I took the attitude of, well, it doesn't matter how this conversation ends, we're still gonna be friends, we're still gonna be fine. That's how that other conversation would end. Now I'm not saying that's how that conversation ended too. I was able to calm myself down as I got through it. I realized in the beginning and like halfway through, I was like, I need to chill out. But just chill, just relax, slow down. Woo-saw. I'm about to get Buddha tatted because I love peace for real. I'm not Buddhist. I'm not religious. But yeah, this video's long enough. I hope y'all enjoyed. Thank y'all for love so much for real. I really appreciate it. Yeah, relax, man. Just chill. Hey, man, take a chill pill. For real, take a chill pill. Relax. Relax about stressing. Don't worry. What you stressing about? There's nothing to be stressing about. Relax. Relax.